Howdy! God, it feels great to say that again. Today, we're looking at a couple of Reveal the Shield legends. Now, this line brings back the classic rub symbols that reveal the character's allegiance. It's nothing special like the Power Core Combiners, or the Dark of the Moon mech-tech weapons, but a nice bit of nostalgia nevertheless. Though I have to say, this element of surprise works a lot better for the movie figures than it does the classics, i.e. characters we already know. First, Optimus Prime. Now, unlike the slightly futuristic looking classics Voyager, this closely resembles the original semi-tractor design. For the size, it's pretty good. Nice colours, very solid, well detailed, and reasonably proportioned. And he rolls okay. His rub symbol, or shield, is here, and well, you know he's an Autobot. Yeah, I imagine this is much easier to do with small fingers. This transforms a lot like the classics Voyager, mainly in how the lower half of the cab swivels round to form a better looking torso. Just a word of caution, the legs are pegged together very firmly. Be careful not to break this tab. The robot mode is likewise a faithful homage to the G1 toy. As I said earlier, the transformation leads to some very good proportions on this figure. He's all beefed up and everything. Also, in this stance, he just looks ready for action. Unfortunately, this is as dynamic as his poses get, as, like most legends, he has limited articulation. The shoulders and elbows can move. His head and chest, sorta. He can actually look down on this transformation joint. But he has no knees, which is the main problem. That and his hips have a limited range of motion. That aside, the only gripe I have is that the elbows are a little loose. And it could be just my copy. Now on to Megatron, best described as the toy they got away with. Seriously, I didn't think they could pull this off given all the gun laws. All things considered, this is fairly accurate to the Walter P-38, aside from... yeah, even at this scale they have to do this. As if anyone would confuse this
piddly little fart-ass gun
for the real thing. That aside, the silver paint, amongst all the other colours, really helped to make this work, and aside from one or two details, there are no obvious robot parts on it. Here is his shield, and well, you know he's a Decepticon. I mean, this alone just adds some novelty value to this toy. And as a nice bonus, these holes and these pegs allow any of the Masterpiece Seekers to hold Megatron in gun mode. The transformation is unique for such a small figure, especially since he's a gun former once again. You'd think with such a badass gun mode that his robot mode would be pretty terrible. But it's not. It's actually pretty damn good for the size. He has the instantly recognizable bucket head sculpt, and for once, the barrel of the gun becomes his fusion cannon instead of back kibble. Also gone are any innuendo possibilities regarding the original toy, thanks to the handle splitting in half. Like Prime, he has few points of articulation, but because he actually has A, some knees, and B, some free hips, he's capable of more than one dynamic pose. You see, a little does go a long way. Other than that, the only suggestion I could think of is painting the tip grey to match the barrel of the gun. All in all, these are pretty nifty for the Legends class, and I definitely recommend both of them. But if you have to pick one, go for Megatron. It's that novelty value that just wins it for me. So that's all for now. Next I'll be reviewing Reveal the Shield Wind Charger. Until then, till all are one.